I'm going to teach you how to shop on Weidian, a Chinese platform focused on clothing and fashion. And it's all going to be in English. Let's go. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to run you through the app, since the website is only for sellers, and on how to put your address, search for goods, save stores that you may like, add products to cart, purchasing, and shipping of the goods. So let's start out with what you need. You need a WeChat account because it makes things so much easier for registration. If you don't know how to get a WeChat account, check out this video. And you need a passport because to do payments in this platform, you need to go through authentication. You'll need a bank card that can be linked to your WeChat or your Alipay. And these two videos right here, depending on which one you prefer, actually teach you how to set up your Alipay and your WeChat to make payments online using foreign bank cards. And lastly, this one's the most important, but I need your motivation and your patience because this is all going to be in Chinese, but I'm going to walk you through it on how to do it in English. And it may be difficult at first, but once you get over that hurdle, it's very easy. So first things first, you want to download the app. Make sure you stay on the official website to download the app and try not to use any third-party websites. I'll put the QR code up here somewhere so you can download it directly, but it's safest to go on like Baidu.com and just say Weidian. Now once you download it, open the app, skip the advertisement on the top right corner, and then you should go to the screen that looks something like this. You want to click on the WeChat button. You don't want to log in or register another method because you're most likely going to need a Chinese phone number, which you may not have, and it's really hard, if not almost impossible to get if you're not physically inside mainland China. So then it's going to route you to your WeChat. In my case, it would just say pick which WeChat account you want to log into, but I've already logged in once, so you can see it logged me in automatically. And it's actually better if you already have WeChat Pay activated. If not, then like I said, you can just refer to those videos on how to get your WeChat Pay activated. So now let's talk about the shipping address. This is probably the first step you should just handle. So in the bottom, you can see that there's different buttons you can select from. You want to go to Me. And on the Me, you want to hit on this little settings tab on the top right corner. And on the second row, you want the receiving address. So I already have an address up here, but I'm going to add a new one just to show you how it works. So click on the button on the bottom that says add a new address. This first line is your name. Keep it all in Chinese just to make it easy. But something I want to emphasize, this platform mainly ships inside mainland China. So you need to have a freight forwarder. Luckily, I have a video right here on how to find your freight forwarder so that you can ship all the goods to the freight forwarder and they can ship it to your home country. This example, it must be in China. And typically freight forwarders have a code based on your member account. So I'm just going to put my Chinese name, Maike. And then let's say my code is 12345. And this is super important because they're going to put this on the package. And when the freight forwarder receives a package, they know, oh, member 12345. You're going to need to put a phone number. I know it asks for a Chinese phone number, but luckily you can just put any other country's phone number. Use Google Translate to figure out how to spell your country in Chinese. In my case, I'll just select 美国, see, +1, then put in your phone number for whatever it may be. Then this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but you're going to need to ask your freight forwarder for the mainland Chinese address. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see there's Hawaii, which is like a foreign address. However, from my experience, you need to coordinate directly with a supplier to see if they have a shipping channel to ship overseas. Most of them don't. So if you put a foreign address, it most likely won't get shipped and it will be very complicated in the platform to handle, like the customs and processing. So try to avoid that unless your supplier specifically tells you they can ship overseas. In my case, I'm just going to pick some random place in Guangzhou. Then you put the written address here, and then any notes will go down here and you'll save the address. So some of the notes you may want to say is like a specific name that the product wants to go to. Once the address is saved, you can actually make it your default address and you're good to go from there. Now, how do you find products? Well, you go to the home page down here and there's a search bar. Unfortunately, they don't have the image search that you may be used to using Pinduoduo, 1688, or Taobao. I'm sure they're going to add it in the future, but right now they don't have it. So you have to use Google Translate. So if you want to find a t-shirt, you need to type in t-shirt in Google Translate, and the response will probably be t-shoot. And if you want like a branded one or unbranded one, you just have to put it in there. But I'm just going to search for a t-shirt. Okay. You can see all the different kinds of brands they offer. So let's say I like this shirt. This shirt looks pretty cool. I want to look at the reviews. So here you can see the reviews. You can see, 100% good review. People that take pictures of it, they say, okay, this is the real supplier, not bad. It's okay. Then you can look at more pictures of the product. Now, I want to add this to my cart. Notice on the bottom, there's two buttons. There's the black one that says add to cart and the red one which is buy now. You can actually get a discounted rate if you buy now, but I don't suggest this. In this tutorial, we're not going to buy now. We're going to add it to the cart. When you add it to the cart, you have to select the sizing you want or whatever it may be. Now, note these kinds of platforms like Pinduoduo, you buy like onesies and twosies. It's not so user-friendly like 1/6 that you can buy like hundreds and specify the different sizes all at once. Here, you need to do it one at a time. So I want to buy an extra large. I'll buy a black one. And then you can ignore the bottom. Those are installment payments. You can't do that. You're not a Chinese citizen. You don't have a Chinese ID card, so it won't work. And then add it. Go back to the home page. Go under Me. Me is pretty much the central hub of all your orders and any personal items you may have. You can look inside the cart. If you click right here, my cart, you can see this is what I just added, and you can see the store. Now, what if I really like this store? What if they sell all kinds of goods, not just this shirt? Well, you can heart them. When you go back to the Me part, click on the top right corner right here. It says a 1. Boom. You have all the stores that you like saved here for future business or future orders. And you can also easily chat with the customer service by clicking on the chat of the product and then just saying whatever you need to. Now, do it in Chinese. They're most likely not going to respond to you if it's in English. Use Google Translate if you have to. Something I do for trusted sellers or people that I'm trying to vet is I ask them for their WeChat. But you have to do it in a special way because they don't like it when you communicate outside of their platform. So you have to ask them, do you have a WX, which is Weixin, Chinese WeChat? So now let's go and pay for the goods. Go back to my cart. Let's say I want to pay for this. You just click on the red button that says pay. So on the top, you're going to have your address. If it's not the address you want, you can select different addresses that you have and select the one you want if you have different freight forwarders. So make sure, that's why we did the address first so that you don't have to deal with that in the future. Then you have the product itself. And then in the bottom, there's two ways to pay. There's the regular payments and then there's like the credit payments. Don't worry about the credits, it ain't gonna work for you. So let's say I wanna do the regular payments. You just click on the red button and then you should be brought to this page right here. And this will show you all the kinds of payments they support. So the first one is a bank card directly, like a Chinese bank card directly, and you can put the information in there. However, this one is going to require like a Chinese ID card, so I don't recommend it. The second one is Weidian credit. Again, you won't apply for this because you're not a Chinese citizen. Then you have WeChat Pay right here and Alipay. Alipay TourPass supports this and WeChat Pay supports this. Just make sure you log into WeChat first and log in through your WeChat account for WeChat Pay to work. And then you can just select, okay, I'll finish my payment with WeChat Pay and so be it. And the bottom two are more credit that you won't be able to support. So that's how you make the payment. But after you make the payment, how do you track your package? How do you do the shipping? Well, as I mentioned, you want to make sure you ship it to the freight forwarder and you know it's getting shipped. Now I'll go onto my home page and I want you to pay attention to the top here. On the left side is stuff that I haven't paid for yet that I just have in my carts and that I want to pay. So I just paid for the item as you saw. So here you can see the item. And as soon as it's shipped, it will be moved from paid for to shipped. So you can click right here and you'll be able to see the shipping details of where this product is at. And then after it's been received, as you can see the shipping information, then you can leave a review if you want to leave your review here. And lastly, this is the refunds if you selected any refunds. So let's go through a refund. So you want to check all your orders, right? So here you want to click on this button right here for every order you've placed that you've actually paid for. And let's say Like you want to return the item or it doesn't work well, you have to work with your freight forwarder to return it back to the company. But let's say ultimately you want to refund and you return the goods. So you have to click on the order you just placed or that you already received at the freight forwarder. And then you can click on right here for a refund. It's going to ask you for the reason of why you want a refund. Okay, so this is like, I don't want it anymore. And I'm just going to put a simple explanation why I don't want it. So I'm saying I don't want it anymore. Please give me a refund before you ship it. And I'm going to continue. And then it goes through the process of getting a refund. In this case, it's for 79 RMB. It's going to take 4 days and 24 hours for the supplier to respond. That's how much time they have. Now you can see that I have a product that's undergoing the refund process. You just click here and you can see where it's at in the refund process. So see, it's back to the same page, but essentially the supplier would just say, okay, give you a refund or not. Now, after it's shipped, just realize the supplier is probably going to ask for the products back. So that's why it's super important to have the freight forwarder inside mainland China. You don't want it outside, because if it's inside, you can still control, look at the item, touch it in your freight forwarder, and then return it. But if they ship it overseas and the time runs out, like 7 days usually in China, then you ain't going to get a refund. Or it's really hard unless you ship it back to the factory, which is going to cost you a lot of money. You don't want to do that. So what are you waiting for? Now that you found like a fashion kind of sourcing platform in China, you can get started on sourcing goods from here. You can talk to your suppliers, you can like their shops, you can negotiate pricing, whatever you want to do, by all means do it. Any other platforms that you want to know how to buy from in China that I have not covered, let me know in the comments down below.